Cabaret. Well, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. It is great to be in the Parkland neighborhood with Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins, with friends from the neighborhood, with colleagues from Louisville Metro Government, to really talk about an exciting new project that we're working on here to continue our continued investment in Parkland, in West Louisville. You know, driving here this morning as I was coming up down 28th Street, was thinking about all the investments and improvements that have been made on 28th Street over the past couple of years. You start at Broadway with the Goodwill Opportunity Center and the new Norton Hospital, the new first hospital in West Louisville in over 150 years. I think about the improvements that we helped Kroger make at the corner of 28th and Broadway to improve that location. I think about the exciting investment that's coming from Pastor James and Dare to Care with their property just south of Kroger's and what they're doing just a couple of blocks here. I think about the new library that Councilwoman Hawkins and I worked on just across the street here in Parkland. And this corridor is really something special. And that's what we're here to talk about, additional progress on 28th Street for the community. You know, these investments are so important. You see what the investments that I just talked about have made to transform community. You can see Councilwoman Hawkins and I worked so closely for several years on the Algonquin Park pool, which last year we got reopened, just like we got the Parkland Library reopened after 40 years of being closed. But Councilwoman Hawkins and I are committed to not just talking about projects, but getting projects done, and that's what we're going to do here as well. We're going to do here at the former fire station known as Engine 19. That was briefly a community center as well when that engine stopped being part of the Louisville Fire Department. But now the building needs significant work. And the Land Bank Authority acquired this property in 2020. Louisville Metro Government stabilized it in 2024. But more work is needed to bring it back to its full potential as a place for this community to enjoy, to connect, to make progress happen. And so we've been working to take vacant, abandoned properties and turn them into something special. And that's what we're going to do right here at this new location. We want people throughout this entire neighborhood, throughout the entire community, to have another place where they can gather, where they can support one another, where they can learn from one another, where they can continue to make our community safer, stronger, and healthier. So here are the next steps that we're excited to announce today. We're putting out a request for bids so that we can have the appropriate process to get a contractor on board to help make this project a reality, and also to do some final community engagement as well that Councilwoman Hawkins and my office are going to be working on. Councilwoman Hawkins, as you'll hear, has been listening to the community for years about what they're looking for, and we want to continue that process to make sure that we get it right. There's going to be a pre-bid meeting on January 14th at 1 p.m. for those who are interested in bidding on the property to get a closer look at the property so that they can submit the most accurate bids as possible. And then work will get underway. So here to talk more about this project is a great partner of ours who's been working on so many projects that I mentioned and so many other things throughout District 1 here and across the entire city. Please join me in welcoming Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins.
Good morning, and thanks for all being here. Today my heart is really warm. This building here has been an eyesore for over almost a decade. But today it shows what listening to the community looks like. I want to thank the housing department. I've been a thorn. A thorn. The community wanted to see this building revitalized. If you all was not aware, back in the 60s, Parkland was rioted. So to see things like the library, right? to see businesses thriving in Parkland, to see this whole area be revitalized, speaks volume about the leadership that we have today. I want to say thank you to the community. I could not do things like this without having the set of lenses that a lot of my community members and other community leaders have. We've worked diligently, not only for the library, but for this building. I also want to speak a little bit about the direction that we're going to be moving in for renaming the building. We're going to have another community meeting, okay? So we can talk to the neighbors, a lot of the other nonprofits, community leaders, to see what they want this name to be. I believe in being that this corridor has been revitalized, it needs a new name. So I'm going to spearhead that. I'll be reaching out, having a community meeting, and we're going to do that collectively. I also want to say thank you to our mayor. You know, people say that a lot of things aren't getting done. One thing that I can say, and I'm still learning in this role, but I'm not set, and nor has this mayor. We've served to see things come to fruition, to see the development that has came across this city. I always say that the West deserves the best. Thanks to you, and also thanks to all my colleagues on Metro Council, we've made that happen. But we could not have done it without housing. I tell y'all, I have been a thorn in Laura Grabowski, in Tia Bowman. When I went to them about what they called, it was a far house, but it was named from one of the community leaders, the Ashanti house. So the community looked at it as the Ashanti house. When I, heard that this was in the land bank, I was like, oh my God. So then I got a lot of, responses from the community saying, hey, you got that pool open, you got the library open, what do you think you can do about the Ashanti house? And I feel like at that point that my faith was being tested. And I'm very persistent. When you're persistent, I've learned that you get things done. So I really relied and kept my eyes on this prize. And I really want to say thank you. Thank you to, to housing. I wore y'all out. But if I did not do that, then that would have showed that I was not the leader that the community expects me to be. So now we have this building. Now we're going to be looking for developers, and this is back in the hands of the community. So for that, I want to say thank you. We're going to be looking for a nonprofit, a few nonprofits to go inside here. One nonprofit that will work with the city to spearhead this. So it's back in the community's hands. And again, I just want to thank everyone for showing up. I want to say thank you to my beautiful legislative assistant, Olivia Bennett. I could not be who I am today without her. So I want to say thank you. And of course, Cal, she's awesome. So thank you to her too. I wear these people out. I know people say that I'm loud. but I'm loud and I get things done. And I just want to say thank you.
Thanks, Councilwoman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Councilwoman Hawkins. You're always a rose to me. I've never noticed that thorn component. We also, one way that we know we're going to be able to deliver on everything that Councilwoman Hawkins and I have talked about is that in the last budget, working together, we proposed $1 million be allocated towards this project, and thanks to the support of the other Councilwoman Hawkins' colleagues on Metro Council and passing the last budget, that funding is available. So this is a project that has funding available, and we are incredibly excited to continue the engagement that she was talking about, to work with nonprofits and the community to make this a reality. So we are going to continue to move forward in this new year of 2026 with more great projects, not just being planned, but coming to reality. That's what 2026 is all about. Thank you all very much, and we are happy to take any questions from members of the media.
Timeline look like for getting it completed?
So we're going to, that's why several things are going to be happening on a parallel path. The first thing is, as we mentioned, is the contractor. That pre-bid meeting is on January 14th. There are certain procurement rules that the city always follows, and so that meeting is on January 14th at 1 p.m. for those who are interested in learning more to be a contractor on this property. And also, as Councilman Hawkins mentioned, there's going to be some additional community engagement that we're going to be working on together, both with respect to the naming of the property, but also to understand what nonprofits are interested in taking a role in being a part of this project when it reopens. So once that gets going, we'll have a specific schedule once we have the contractor on board. But given the size of the project, the funding's already there, we're hoping we can do this during this calendar year.
How many nonprofits are you looking at? Is it a specific type of nonprofit or just any nonprofit?
No, we've spoken about that, and we know that there's a lot of interest. We will certainly want nonprofits that are focused on serving this community, that are focused on improving the safety, improving the quality of life. But Councilwoman Hawkins has also spoken with a lot. If there's anything else you'd like to add. Okay.
There's been a lot of nonprofits that have already showed interest. But first, we're going to definitely highly lean on the community for that.
It needs a lot of work, so we're ready to get started. We think that $1 million will be enough to get started. So it might not be enough for the entirety of this project. It has seen better days, as you can tell from why we're doing it outside, because we wouldn't want to be inside right now without some significant hard hats and protection. So, but it's enough to get started, and I think you can tell the commitment between Councilman Hawkins and I. We're going to make sure that the project gets completed in the right way. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Have a great day. We're excited.